Okay, guys. So let's start from starting. I'm not getting this font. Okay. Uh, so the where operations actually starts with the operand, and another thing is operator. So operand is something over which we are applying the operator, and operator is something which do something
हेलो
meaningful.
तो मुझे क्या पीनी दे दो चाहूँ कि नहीं पढ़ रहा हूँ माँ
Okay. So operand is let me mute all so that I can speak. Okay. So operand is something like over which we apply our operators, and operators are, as you do know, like which filter the data or do something meaningful operation on the operands and gives out the meaningful output. So in the SAS we have around five type of operands. One is character variable, second is numerical variable, third is string character constant, fourth one is numerical constant, and fifth one is the date. Okay, so let me explain it a bit to all of you what is character variable and what is. Okay, so anyone does know about it, what is the difference between character variable and the character constant? If anyone wants to speak, can. Okay, and what is the difference between character variable and numerical variable? Kanishk, I think from my side it's working very fine. Maybe it's on your end. Anyone who wants to explain the difference between character variable and numerical variable? Okay. Okay, so character variable is actually in the SAS, like if we have the name column variable in the SAS data set, and if we have value something like that, Ram, Jaman, or something like that. Let me give it an example to you guys. Okay, so can you see my the output data set? This is SAS help.class, and I did make it just a SAS data set name A. Okay, so if I double click on the name column, you can see the column attributes, and there you can see this the type is character over here. Can you see that? Okay, so this column is said to be a character variable, and if you click over the age you can see there this is a numerical variable. Okay, so this is the difference between character variable and numerical variable. Okay, and what is the difference between numerical variable and numerical constant, and what is the difference between character variable and the character constant? So the main difference is that, like in the character variable is actually defines you, which actually something keeps on vary. Okay, so if you see the name, it keeps on changing, like from Alfred to Alice, Barbara, Carol, Henry, something like that. Okay, if I fix the name like that, name equals say Shruti or like that. So here name is our constant. If I compare my name with a character constant, then it will become a character constant which is same. Uh, all of you have the same problem of my voice, or just a few are getting this problem?
I don't have this audio problem.
So I think that there is a little bit problem on your connection side. Okay. So, okay, and what else is the difference between numerical variable and numerical constant? As you can see in my data set A, there is an age. Okay, this is whole a character, sorry, numerical variable. The values keeps on changing, and if you compare numerical constant to something like if I define age column equals say 50, and like that, then my age becomes 50. If I creating a new column, this is suppose say I'm creating a new column, new underscore age equal to 50. Okay, just a second, let me give it to you example. Equals 50. So as you can see, this is a numerical constant. Okay, it's not changing. Okay, so and the remaining is that our string and string, or you can say character constant. I believe I already discussed this thing, this name equals Shruti. This can be either treated as a character constant, or even you can treat it as string as well. And string also can be a combination of letters and the numbers as well, like say uh, fee paid by Arun is 500. So this is our string. It has become a string. Okay, here a number is as well, and the letters is as well. And the last one is our date. Date is something as you. Okay, so date is in the SAS. It actually in the back end. Let me tell you just a very basic thing so that you can have an idea. SAS actually does it calculation on the date formats or the date values. It actually counts the number of days from the SAS. It actually has the base value of 01 Jan 1960.
मैं बिस्किट दे दो मुझे.
I think Shruti, you have the only one who has the voice problem. Okay. Okay, so base date is something like that where actually SAS starts its calculations. So for 01 Jan, it calculates the number of days till now. For the 01 Jan 1960, it has 0 days from the day it starts, and for 02 Jan 1960, it has first day. Okay, so from 1st to 2 Jan of 1960, it counts as 1 day. Okay. Suppose if I want to figure it out, what day is it, something like that. So what does SAS actually do? It counts the number of days from 1960 and convert those number of days into years or months, as whatever you are requirement, it converts that much days into months and uh, years or something like that. It per your convenience. Okay. So next thing is that this is our operator section. Uh, Operator sections is actually used to do some operations on the uh, that operands. So we do have around four types of operators in the SAS. So first one is our comparison operator. Suppose we do have equal, we do have greater than, we do have less than, we do have, this is vertical arrow, this is called as not equal, or alternatively you can also write it like as exclamatory sign and the equal sign. And also that you do have a great, if you want to write a greater than equal to comparison, then you have to a greater sign and then equal. Similarly, you have a less than or equal to sign. Okay, and you even can use these sign as abbreviated in abbreviated form if you want it. If you do have some problem in SAS like remembering these symbols, so you can equal as EQ, greater than greater or less than. So for greater than it is GT, less than equal LT, not equal this is not equal I believe, but I would confirm. Okay, in arithmetic we do have our summation, we do have our subtraction, and single star is used for multiplication, and forward slash is used for, okay, for not equal this is any, sorry, I'm a little bit confused because this is my first class. So okay, this is forward slash, and after that we do have a double star. This is actually used for the raised to the power. Suppose say if I want to calculate the power of 2 raised to the power 3, then I have to mention it like that, 2 raised to the power 3. So it will actually gives me 8. So after that we do have our logical operators in the SAS. Suppose say as we did into R, there are logical operators and, or, not, okay, and not and or not. Okay, these two operators are hardly used in the industry. If you want to use, you can use it, but I think that this is very less useful in the industry because as of now I have not get a chance to use these operators. And also we do have a special operators is called is missing, is null, like, contains, between. I will go through all of them, but as for now let's skip this. Okay, so anyone has doubt till now, so that I can, does anyone has doubt till now, so that I, otherwise I would start ahead. Okay, Akshay is asking about character variable and constant. Constant is what? This is numerical constant or character constant, Akshay? Okay, character constant. Okay, okay. So as you can see over here, the name column, the values keeps on changing, as you can see, from Alfred, Alcia, Barbara, Carol, Henry, something like that. If I go to a next column, this is the column, sorry, the variable name is faculty underscore name, and here is the values are constant. As you can see, all where is from top to bottom is Shashi, Shashi, Shashi. Okay, so this is the difference. Okay, 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 and I do believe you all of have a SAS installed on your system. You're welcome, Akshay. Okay, if you do have, uh, just execute a code. Okay, no problem. So I think you can execute the code. Okay, do one thing for me. Just make a data set of name A in the work library from the SAS class, and we will start the coding purpose and as we do in our where operations. Okay, so just do one thing. Just execute a code, and if possible, and write your code as in the comment sections. Okay, guys. So have I believe all of you have run this code that I just highlighted, right? Okay. Okay. Let's start with one by one. So in the comparison operators, we do have. Okay. Let's first of all see our data set has been created or not. It says not. Okay. Okay, I want, suppose say if I want the age of the person who are actually just turned to 14, I I want a new data set and I want only the age column, sorry, the only persons who has just turned into 14. Okay, so how does that where actually statement? So where statement format is like that, where you have to specify the where keyword. Okay, and the name of the variable on which you want to perform that the filtration. Suppose say I want to filter our data on the basis of age. Okay, where age and the value of the age is like 14 and the semicolon. And I can go ahead and substitute to that over the head is b and execute that. As you can see, in my next data step it has all of the 14 values. Is there any problem till now? Does anyone have any doubt? Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and move to the next thing. Suppose say my business requirement is that I want only those persons whose age values are between 13 to 15. Okay. Oh, sorry. Suppose say less, not more than 13, 13 or greater. Okay. So I go ahead and put that substitute over here. So you can change it like that, or you can write it same thing is like that. Where age, just a second, that is to the good. Okay. I executed it, and as you can see, all the values are that my in my parent data set has been transformed from the values it pick up more than 13 and to the maximum values. So it has 14, 15 and 16, all the values pop up. Okay. And do remember one thing, if you have a existing data set, suppose say I do have a parent data set, as you can see over here, this is my e data set, and you start filtration on the existing data set. Suppose say if I filter it out, then my parent data would get changed. If you want to do some operation, either you have to make a new data set, or you must just to aware of this thing that you must change this name accordingly, because it would change your parent data set. If I go ahead and substitute the SAS help dot class over here, then it also changed that SAS help dot class data set as well. Okay. Is there anyone who has any doubt till now? Okay. Similarly, you can use greater than, and you can use less than. Okay. Similarly, you can use greater than equal. Okay. Similarly, you can use greater less than or equal to. Okay. So these comparison operators are actually used for the numerical, but you can do use greater than, less than, greater than or less than for the character variables as well. But this is totally beyond of the concept, because you can compare the strings with the character variables. Okay, so I would cover this thing later on. As of now, we have covered comparison operators. Similarly, you can use arithmetic operators. Okay, so arithmetic operators are actually used. Suppose say if I do want to some increment or manipulate my existing numerical variable, and I will go ahead and substitute it to the new variable. Suppose say I want to a new variable. I found that my business requirement is that the data entry person actually puts the values -5 of all of the person, and I want that needs to be corrected. So what I do is add the 5 to the existing age column, and I would get the new age. Okay, so 14 plus 5, 15, and automatically that values are going to pop up. Okay. Similarly, you can do plus, minus, multiplication, division, and raise to the power. Okay. Okay, let's come to the logical section. Suppose say let's my close my data set be. Okay. Suppose say if someone in my business requirement is that that business person asks me to give them a data of only females, and who just turns to 14. So as you can see, this value she is female and her age is around 14. Okay, so I want these type of data, who is female and the value of age is 14. So how do I do that? So this is where AND operations actually works. This is where sex equals like that. Okay, and actually use as you can see that the logical operation does is and that both of conditions should be true. Sex should be female and age should be 14. If both of the condition were true, then only then that this step observation will execute and process to the dataset B. Okay, let's execute this. And okay, as you can see, my dataset has been updated. So I do have two persons named Carol and Judy who has a sex of female and age is 14. Okay, similarly you can use or over here. Okay, so if someone asks me like either give me the name of whose sex is female or otherwise her or she has an age of 14. Okay, so execute this and you can see, as even if her sex is male but the age is 14, still it is present into the dataset B. Okay, because we have specified the or operator over here. Anybody has any doubt till yet, or should I need to cover that has not been understood yet? Okay, okay. Suppose say if my business requirement is that I don't want anyone in my new data set whose age is just turned to 14. Okay, so I would go ahead and use not operator. Okay, and if you check the log window, it will tell you that what exactly has been done. It would actually transform this equation to the understandable form. uh, this is 15 observation read from dataset cell class where age not equal 14, and in the coding section we actually write it in the opposite, like not of age equal to 14. Okay, so whenever you write the complex kind of filtration in your data, so says what exactly do is put the simplified form of that equation into the log window so that you can, if something is wrong you can track it down and and you get go ahead and rectify that. Does anyone have any doubt any here? Similarly you can use and not. Okay, like, okay, so let's see what would happen. So what I did get, the sex is female but not the age of 14. If you go ahead and check the log window, it will tell you the simplified form. Just see, there are seven observation read from the data set SAS class where sex is equal to female, and it actually changed that a not operation and not operation like that, and age not equal to 14, so that it can be uh, understood into that simplified form. Okay, so does anyone has any doubt yet? Okay. Okay, and I believe you guys have not been understood like what are the missing values in SAS, right? Or anyone does not about what are the missing values in SAS? Does anyone know what are the missing values in SAS? Okay, okay, let me cover that up. Okay, just as of now, just forget about this if statement. I would cover that up in the next classes. Okay, okay, just see over here. What I did is like if someone having an age of 14, I assign them to be a missing value. As you can see over here, uh, wherever the values is missing, there is a dot sign over here. Can you see guys? Can you see these guys?
Yes.
Okay. So mark this point is that missing values in SAS for the numerical variable it is a dot sign.
If numerical, then dot. And if character, then
I would cover that up. Just a second. Okay. And I will request you to guys simultaneously execute this code side by
simultaneously.
side. Yes, please. Should I need to slow it down or is it fine now? Okay, okay, okay. What I did in my previous code is that if someone having a sex value equal to f, then I assign it to a missing value. Okay. So as you can see over here, the missing values are nothing like space. Okay. because these are the now trends is that like these are not being asked in the interviews because everyone is start learning about the SAS, but this is very basic thing, and if someone wants to confuse you, then easily they even can. Okay, so mark is at like missing character values, and SAS is space or nothing like that. So everyone has the clarity about that. Like if someone, I think this has been updated. This is okay. So everyone has the clarity about like if numerical variable is missing, then over that missing value there is a dot sign, and if character variable is missing, there is a space sign or nothing. There is no value over there. Does anyone have any doubt any yet?
No.
Okay. And just one more thing that I just did it wrong. Whenever you do some operation on the data set, suppose say I'm making a new data set A, which is uh, just existing over here, and I accidentally open it as of now, and I want, and I'm executing a new operations on the same data set, and this data set is still open. You can go ahead and check out the log window. You will get an error message that you cannot open work.a.data for output access. Okay, so you have to close it down first so that you can perform the actions. Okay. Okay, let's come to the special section. And if someone wants to note this down, is something that I uh, did not cover that up. Okay, he or she can write it down, and I just want you to guys write as much as you can before, because these things that only comes when you write. Okay. Okay, so my business person actually wants to remove. This is called over the whole process is called as the cleaning process of the data. Suppose say my business person wants to the data set who has does not any missing value. Okay, if someone has uh, the missing values for, suppose say Alice has the missing value, Barbara, Caroline, they are having the missing values. If my business person wants to, I want for them remove these missing values, so how should I do that? Does anyone have any idea how should I do that? Otherwise I will cover that up.
Can you repeat, sir?
Okay. Okay, I think just a second. Okay, I do have missing values in my data set. Okay, and business person may would ask me to give those names whose values are missing, or ask me give the person name who does not have any missing values. Okay, so this is the concept. Suppose say my business is something like that I'm not supposed to do operations on the data where variable is not missing. Okay, so for that I have to remove those values before starting a next process. So this is called a cleaning process of the data. Okay, so for that if I want to create a new data set where the values is missing, then I should write it as this cells is missing, like that. uh, just a second. Okay, can anyone rectify this the error that what I did just wrong over here? I just did a mistake over here. What is the mistake? Does anyone know? Guys, please don't be afraid of speaking. I know all of you are learning, so you are in the learning phase, so better that you can speak.
Sir, when you are running the program at that time, our executing window is sorry, our output when you are running your program. That's why we have error here. So you close your work library.
No, Rajesh,
Is it
you are taking it
right?
wrong. Suppose see what I'm doing over here is, let's see, I make it new data set. There are no missing values. I just make a copy of SAS help.class to a new dataset C. Okay, and what I was doing is that I'm making a copy of SAS help.class of B, and I'm filtering it on the values of sex. But sex is not missing in this dataset, so that's why it has the zero values. So if I change it like that, where my age is missing, then it would give you the answer. You can see all of them are missing values. All of you get the concept? Okay. Alternatively, you can write this statement as like that, where sex is missing, or you can write it as sex is null. Let me just delete it so that it would give me the perfect values. Okay. So is missing and is null do the same. These are the alternatives to each other. Okay. You can write the same statement is like that. where sex equals and there is a space. Why I write these double inverted commas? Because this is a character variable. Okay, let me just delete it and execute the same code. You can see all of them are having the missing values. Okay, or you can, I think, write it like that. I'm just trying, I have not tried it yet. Okay, if business person wants to filter all the data that like I don't want any missing values in the sex, so you can use the not operator over here is like that. Okay, so that you would not have any missing values in the dataset B that is copied from the dataset A. Does anyone have any doubt yet? Yes, I think Shreya has the doubt. Yes, Shreya. Okay, you can write it. I will sort it out for you. Okay, you don't have any doubt. Does anyone have any doubt? Arun, don't we have any is not null or is not missing? Yes, you can. It is. I think I have not yet tried like that. Six. Mm, mm, yes, there are two other alternatives as well. I forgot to mention. There are is not missing and is not null. Is missing is for treating missing values. Is not missing for not missing values. Does anyone have any doubt yet? Okay, let's move forward. Let's cover this between an operator. Okay, so what I just did is I make a copy of my SAS help.class dataset to the new dataset A. Okay, so that it does not have any missing values or something like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys. So what I just did is, suppose say my business person wants to know, uh, to give him a data set whose age is between 12 and 14. Okay. So you can't do things like that. You transform a existing data set into a new data set where age is greater than or equal to 12, and then again you filter it out and sort it accordingly to the 14 values. Okay, this would actually takes double of the resources and double of the time. So to avoid this, SAS introduce a new operator called between. Okay, so suppose say my business person wants to know, like wants to have a data set whose values of age between 12 and 14. Okay, and note it down, these values are inclusive, I suppose so. Yes, these values are inclusive. And as I mentioned earlier, when you write a complex kind of filtration process, SAS does resolve it for you. You can read it like that, where age is greater than equal to 12 and age is less than equal to 14. Okay. Alternatively, if you substitute this kind of equation over here, that would also give you the same result. Okay. And there is also a new method to do this thing, do the same thing. Suppose say you are not aware of this between and operator. Okay, and you have to use your aptitude scale to do this. Okay, so the concept is like that: you have to mention the lower values on the left side, and you use the mention sign less than or equal to, and then the variable name that you want to filter it out, and you use again less than equal to sign in the 14. Okay, that also do the same thing. And even in the log window for the previous and the new code and the previous code where I have mentioned between and operator and the simplified equation that I just did put, they resolve into the same uh, same operations, as you can see over here. Does anyone have any doubt yet?
Hello.
Yes, Rajesh.
Sir, I have one doubt. Suppose I does not want to include 12 in the data set, but
Hmm.
up to 14 I want to include.
Okay.
But my output is does not contain 12. So how can I proceed for it?
Okay. Mm, I think you can do it like that. Maybe. Let's check it out. You can use not equal ne, or you can say not, as you have the result string over here. As you can see in my data set C, you do not have any 12 values. Got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Okay, does anyone have any doubt yet? Because after that we will be covering in new operators. Okay. Let's cover like operator. If someone have any doubt yet, you can ask, and otherwise, I want you guys to wait just for 2 minutes so that I can have my data that I want to teach you. Guys, please speak. Otherwise, it seems like that I'm recording a session for myself only.
No doubt, sir.
Okay. Okay, and I forget one operator. This is also called as in operator. Maybe you, if you have guys attended our R classes, you do have the knowledge about the in operator. In operator actually does, suppose say I want 12, 11, and 15 values in my data set. Okay. Suppose say you want to have a combination of the values in your next data set. Suppose say you want to have values like that age 12, whose age is 11, also age is 11, and also age is 15. Okay, in actually means is inclusive. Okay. Okay, let's give you guys a question. Let's see what would happen. I think that you will not answer, but let's see. Can anyone tell me what will be my output in my F data set if I execute this highlighted code? Where age between value is saying those observation having age 12 or 15, same like data is Jordan.
Problem being will only come.
Okay, okay, let's execute. Let's see what will happen. Okay, so the thing is that like in the where operations, when you have written multiple where conditions, the latest where conditions will get executed, and apart from that will not be considered. And in the log window you can also see that where clause has been replaced. So Kanisk is right. Okay, okay, Shrishti is also right. Okay, so this is how actually interview question put on your front. They would not ask like where age is equal to 12 and what will be my output. This is not like that. Right. Sashi sir, you are having more experience than us, so definitely you are supposed to have more knowledge. Okay, so I am just putting these sections into the class to make the environment live. Okay, so we also have in operator. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's cover that up. Contains keyword. Okay. And I just want to tell you guys one more thing over here is that there is a format in SAS you can do your commenting. Like one format is that slash star and your comment and then star slash. This is your comment. Within this, uh, you whatever you write, it will not execute even if you have selected it. Okay. If I write like data a set cell dot class and run, it will not execute even if you select it, and if you run it nothing would happen, as you can see over here. Okay. And the next section is commenting is that star and then semicolon. This is the most preferred commenting type in SAS that we use. It has done the it has that the slash star has some kind of drawbacks that if in advanced sense SAS, when you execute the course of advanced SAS and you put that code into this type of comment section, and if you have you guys are not aware of that macro variables, but if you do have some macro variables that they will execute within this code. So avoid permanently, you have to prefer this type of command. Okay, so let's move further. Contains. Okay, let me give you an overview of contains, what exactly it do. Suppose say you remember a value. Suppose say you are having a value, suppose say Alice, and it does has some uh, surnames or something within their name, but Alice is all inclusive into that. Okay, if you want to that particular row into your new data set, you can't use the equal sign and put it in close, because it will give you an error, because it will compare the whole string with that one. So you have something, you have should have something in your SAS that compares a substring to a parent string. So that's why contains is actually used. Suppose say you have the James, okay, and and I don't know if some person mention other names like Hames or Ames, but this person write it as James, okay. But I do know like all the persons values has end with three words like called MES, okay. So I should it write like that. Okay, so this is how you can get it. But remember one thing, this is a case sensitive. Even if the values into that name column, right, right in into the caps, then it would not pick up, because this should be equal to lowercase. It actually compares a substring to the parent string. If substring is a part of the parent string, that it will pop up, otherwise it would not. Does anyone have any doubt in this keyword? Anyone? Okay. Okay. Okay, and there are uh, two more special characters that is provided in SAS is that is percentage and underscore. Okay, so underscore is actually a replacement for space. Okay, and percentage is alternative for n number of characters. Okay, so I will cover that up. So we have covered genes. Okay, suppose say I want to figure it out, like is there anyone who's apart from y, from that, if you can see over here, there should be three characters, e and r, and I do not know what after that and what is before that, but I do know a string that should have these three letters, but I want it into a new data set, but I do not know like what is my full name, but I do know three characters of the name, but that should be inclusive. That okay. So this is how it works. Okay, so let me put that screen down over here, as you can see. Okay, so this single underscore is for h, and this single underscore is for y. Okay, and if there was a letter over here, suppose if there is a Henry Y W, so I have to mention double underscore over here, because how how many letters you do know about it, you have to mention as many as that much underscore over here. Okay, alternatively, if you do not know how many suppose say if someone write it like that, a dot Henry, name like that, then I have to write double spaces like that, because single space is for a and another underscore for dot and another underscore for h. Okay, and another underscore is for y. Okay, so to avoid this, like sometimes you do not have the flexibility, that you don't have any idea that how many letters before that substring it the parent string has, so you can alternatively use that percentage sign. Percentage sign, what exactly it do is neglect all the strings into the parent string and just compare that enr into the parent string and gives the values. You can use the combination of percentage and underscore, or alternatively you can use percentage only. Let me delete it. Okay, does have any doubt yet, anyone? Because these are a little bit confusing, but as soon as you get practice it on a little daily basis, you would be flexible to that. Okay, no one has any doubt. So I think I'm teaching in a good way. Okay. So we have left with sounds like, right? We have also covered that contains. Okay. Just a second, guys. Does anyone have any doubt? Okay. Okay, let's move to rename statement. Suppose if I consider the same code like this, okay, and I remove my label statement like this, okay. I executed this code. I do have my variable name is name and my name is Arun Kumar Sharma. And later on, after executing this code, I thought that I did a mistake. I should define my variable name to something like uh, full underscore name or any other variable name. Okay, so there is an option in SAS. You can use the rename statement and you can change the variable name. Okay, so the format is that like that: rename equals the old variable name, this is name, and equals to the new variable name like full underscore name. I think this should work. Um, where now define as numeric. Mm, just a second. Okay. Okay, so this is called as the okay. Okay, guys. So actually, I did a mistake, so that's why the code was not executing. Okay, so okay, so the thing is that I did use a rename statement. It starts with the keyword rename and my previous variable name. This is called name, and to the new name that I want to assign to a existing variable name. This is called full name, and this is how you can alter it. Okay, you can go ahead and check it. This has been changed as full name. Okay, even if you want to specify the label name for the full name, you can change it. Remove semicolon after test2. Okay, so I mistakenly did that. Okay, no issues. Whatever the error that has been come across this coding, I will resolve it, and I will give it to you guys. Also, I also have left with a format statement. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, what format statement you do is like hmm, suppose say I am creating a data set A. Okay, I, when I open this, okay, if you can see this data set, I do have a fee column over here. Can you see, guys? Guys, please respond as I'm not getting. Okay. Okay, so when you comes to the reporting section in SAS, when you report your data to your client, and whenever you report this data, then this fee column cannot be interpreted as like what does this fee indicate. It fee indicate that is obvious that this is a numerical variable, but this is not to be seen as what is this, is this is in dollars, or this is in rupees, or this is in thousands, or how someone can interpret this. Okay, so this is why formats comes into the existence. Okay, so format statement format is there, like you starts with the format keyword, your variable name, this is my fee, and to that, after that is your format name. This is, suppose say I, if I want to specify 9.2, just a second, let me give it to you guys. Okay, as you can see, there is a dollar sign in front of the fee section. Okay, so these values are now can be interpreted as this. These are the $85 and 20 cents, and for this one is interpreted as $124.80. Okay, and there is a also a one concept. There is a w.d format. Okay, so W is actually stands for width, and D stands for decimal. Okay, So if you let me introduce a new variable over here, n underscore fee equal fee like that, n underscore fee like this. Okay, execute this. You did a new data set. Okay. Okay, guys. Let me tell you what is the w.date format is do. So if you can see over the fee column, this is there is a minimum length of 4. Like for 85, this is 2 byte, and there is dot for 1 byte, and 20 is for again 2 bytes. So altogether is 5 byte. This is the minimum that even if we can provide 5 byte, it would work. But if you click it down, the length is 8, so we don't have to worry it about. But when we assign, suppose say if we change the length of the fee column to 5, and if we define a new format to the same existing variable, it length can't change because we introduce a new symbol over here. This is dollar sign. It would also take a 1 byte. Okay, so the minimum length for this formatted column would be this will be $85. This would be a 3 byte, and for dot it would be a 1 byte. So altogether is 3, 4, and 6 byte minimum. Let me tell you how it works. So here $9.2, what it do is we altogether define a length of 9, and altogether we do have a decimal value. If we want it, it is 2. Even if we remove it, if we do not want any decimal to be formatted, is like that. Let's see what will come. Even if I want to remove the decimal places, it has been removed. As you can see, these values are converted into the equivalent values by rounding off. Okay, so let's change it to 9.2 again. Okay, let me tell you the concept how it works. So according to us, the minimum length of this would be, if I put a dollar sign over here, so altogether it should be 3, 4, and 6 values. Like 6 should be my total width. If I suppose a 6 to dot over here, that even should this should work like this. Oh, I'm so sorry, it is still opening. Okay, still there is a dollar sign, but if you go ahead and check it, the still is the length is 8. Okay, but if you change it to 5, it would give you an error for sure. As you can see over here, at least one w.date format was too small for the number to be printed. Okay, so it keeps the same values as like that. It does not formatted any values because we have not provided any space for the dollar to come in and replace that space as a dollar. Oh sorry, this is like that. 6.2. Now it will work. Can you guys see the difference? Okay, so all of you get the concept.
Arun, why did it still give the data when it is not able to put a dollar sign for values like 124?
Yes, let me tell you. For 124, this is 3 byte for 124, and for that's dot 80, this is our 6 bytes, like, right? This is
Yeah, but
this is
unless we see the data data will not be, I mean, last time it gave an error, right? That one of the parameters is too small for the data to be printed.
Right. So what SAS is do, like where it gets the space to insert dollar sign, it insert. Otherwise, it will left the same values as same it uh, previously. Okay. So if I increase the length to 7, let's see how does it work. As you can see, all where is dollar, because we increase the length of n dot fee column so that dollar sign can be inserted. Is there any doubt still?
Uh, yeah, it will not give any notification in the logs, right? Because
Ab-
I'm not getting one.
about what, like for the 6 length?
Yeah, yeah.
Just a second, let me check it. Let me close it down. Yes, you are right. It's not giving the log values. Maybe it is like that. Whenever the first observation comes with the perfect, that's why it does not give any notification. But
Okay.
in the real time, you hardly get a chance like that where you have to exactly define length like that. But alternatively, in the real time, what we do is we know the default length is 8, so we go ahead and put that 10 over here.
Okay.
Okay, and you go ahead and execute this, you will get the same result. And as you can see, whenever I increase the length, the automatically length of this column get extended or contracted, right, like that. Okay.
Okay, okay, so Arun, if with at least one value dollar is getting printed, then it will not show any note in log, right? Like when we have set the length as 5.2, then
Mm-hmm.
it was showing a note saying
Right.
that like
Like
okay,
this is for like when the minimum length is less than what we need to require to replace the minimum length of the value, then it would show the error, otherwise not.
okay, all right,
Okay, so we have
yeah.
covered our format statement. Let's me see what we have left with. Okay, as of now we have covered almost the things. And for the in format and format, let me give you a overview of this. Okay, so format is actually used to see how we want to, you know, see our values. It is not for the SAS. In the backend, it also save it as a number, but for us, it seems to be a dollar. Okay, let me give an example. Uh, Data a x equal 1, y equals. See, guys, what I did is I initialize a variable x with a length 1. Okay, and there is a alternate thing is that you can use the put function to define a format on any variable. Okay, so the argument is defined like that. You initialize the put function in the pair of braces on the variable, and what is the format that you want to assign. I assign a dollar date 9 dot. Date is my format and 9 dot is my length. And here decimal is does not mean anything, because decimals in date values are not acceptable because it does not interpret anything. Okay, so when we execute on the same, you can see the y column gives you a second gen 9060. Okay, in the backend it uh, save as one x like x, but for us it is interpreted as second gen 9060. Okay, and for in format, I will tell you inform what it exactly do is in format is actually do suppose say when you are extracting the values from a text file, as like Shashi did in last class. He actually puts a desktop text file and he actually calls that file through in file statement and define the variable name, like which value is meant for which variable. Then you have to then you have actually two values to fetch that value, either as a text value, and that in the SAS it does not mean anything, it treat it as a string. Okay, and another way is to fetch as an in format so that it that SAS can recognize what this value is. Suppose say if my text file, let me give you guys an example so that you can better so this will be last topic for today. Let me go ahead and text file. Okay, so this is my date format, right? Date 9 dot format. I will go ahead and save it and I'll close it. So this is my variable. Okay, I will copy this location address. I will go ahead to the cells. Okay, data b in file state like this, and one.txt. Okay, after that my variable name, suppose say my variable name is date. Okay, or say any of the variable name xyz, suppose xyz, and run it. So as we do know about it, like the by default statement in the SAS is uh, 8 bytes, and as you do know, this is not a numerical, just for the string, because SAS does not recognizing this it as a date. If I go ahead and fetch this value is in SAS. Okay, did not define the particular length. Okay, okay, so this length is 8. Okay, So here is the value. Okay, here is the value. This is his character. This is okay. And let me give you another example. In data C, I use the same code. As you can see, uh, my text file is saved with a value 01 Jan 1960. I did two methods to fetch this value, as a text that I just did over here, and as an in format that SAS can recognize that this is a date value. So how date values are actually saved in the SAS is the number of days from 01 1960. So 01 1960 itself is the same date, so this is counted as a zero value. But in the dataset B, it show it as a 01 1960. Okay, and here you can see the type is character, and for the C you can see this is a numerical variable. In this code, it fetch it as a string. In this code, it fetch at it as a date, so that SAS can recognize that yes, this is a date, so that I can perform date operations in this variable. But if I want to perform date operations on this variable in this code, I cannot do this because this is a string. This has become a character value. You guys the concept? Okay. So Valli was asking what is format and in format. So Valli, this is in format. Date 9 dot is in format. In format is actually used to convert in a value into a SAS recognizable form. Okay, and format is used when we have a existing value but we want to interpret into a different thing, like we did into it as a dollar sign. Okay guys, so is there anything else that you did not get it?
Arun,
Yes.
one question I have.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, on the text format you had created as a date, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you are doing it as a SAS, it became date 9 and you
Mm-hmm.
converted to date 9 format. But
Mm-hmm.
when you run it, it shows as 0, means it is not taking the date as such, but then the backend what?
In the
So how do we bring in the date there?
okay, so it actually store it as a number. Okay,
Uh,
but if you want to see it as it again as a date, you have to define a format again. So this is like
okay,
format, your variable name xyz, and again is your format name. This is 9 dot. Okay, let you go ahead and execute this. See, you can see this has been changed to 019060, and it
okay.
and it again in
It is
backend, in backend it's still saved as a numeric.
numeric.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Okay guys, so is there anything else that you have doubt, that you did not understand or you did not get it? No questions for no Kanishk? No. Okay, I will guys do one thing. I will send this coding format to you, that what I did write it. And okay, thank you, Akshay. Okay, and somewhere I forget to start and stop recording for this video, and I do apologize for the same because this is my first time. Some of the sessions has been recorded and some of the portion has not been, but I will send it across to you guys. If someone has any problem of the voice, like some persons has the problems to listen me, and they were totally depend upon the video links. So no worries, I will keep you posted about the doubts that you have, and any of the doubts that you have, you can always ask in the WhatsApp group, or even I do have a Facebook group. We will soon share it with you guys so that you can go ahead and post it on that group. Okay, but as of now, this was I was being assigned by Shashi, and definitely it was a new experience for me. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for joining today, and I hope that you get something meaningful for today.